All right. Hello, and welcome to another session of the Veil Iterations. This is late enough in the series that I don't think I need to do much of a prologue because if you're picking it up at this point, you have missed a lot. You have missed a lot. You're coming in, you know, mid season three, effectively, I think is a good way to put that. My name is Lowell, pronouns he, him. I'm going to be checking in with the characters and see about their entanglements and advancements and all of those kinds of things to see if there's anything I should know about or anything that needs to get changed. Gabriel, looks like uh, you've got 2 XP, so you haven't. Did you get an advance last time?
I picked up that psychometry.
That's right. Okay. Your debt clock's at 3 out of 4. I think we had something tick up on that, if I recall, last time.
We did. Me getting the body to give to
Yeah.
what's her face?
Uh, Gwendolyn is still in your entanglement. Are you still happy with that entanglement?
I'm solid with all of my
Okay, I
those
was thinking
sets.
like most of it is we hit a lot of it last time. We seem to be in the midst of that. Riddle, uh, you have 5 XP. Uh,
Yeah, I don't know what my advance is going to be yet.
Fair enough. Fair enough. One of the things is we have gotten to the 5 advances, and that means we're hitting a set of mechanics for the veil that I have not gone back and revisited because after you get 5 advances in the veil, that opens up advancing basic moves and some other things. I will take a look at those
Splendid.
between this session and next to see like what's involved with those, whether that's something that we want to have as a play element, uh, or whatnot. If I recall correctly, most of the playbooks have something that's unique that they can take as a big thing when they get after they get their 5th advance. But I need to go back and look at those. Uh, Riddle, are you good with where your entanglements drive questions are?
Yes, I am. Just
Okay.
updated my entanglement recently.
Okay.
There it is.
And you still got everybody still got their bonds. We need to lean on those, get all those spent down, put some pressure on those things. And your debt clock is just at a 1. Uh,
Surprising.
yes. Marley, we come to you. Your fear is almost spiked, but not quite.
Yep.
Uh,
Uh, I know I still only have like half an entanglement there. Uh,
so you
Not that it doesn't
still
have a lot of things a lot of things preventing me from doing anything about it, but
I think that is fair enough. Are you good with the drives and the questions?
yeah.
Yeah, we certainly went quite a ways on that. You can clear your cyber ear, just as
Oh,
Patrick. You can clear Riddle's nerve endings and backup simulation. That brings us last but not least to Heller Tin.
Yes.
Are you
Um, yeah, I'm good with my
okay?
entanglements, I think.
All right. Uh, so let's start out here. I want to make sure I get the uh, name here correctly. Uh, let's start out with uh, Tyler and the group, and we cut to the medical company, and we cut to Zongi Tingzer.
Great last name.
And you deliver the body.
Uh, I believe this was what you had requested.
So you want to know what is happening.
Indeed, and it seemed that we both rather surprised each other. Was not as aware of how deeply your knowledge went, and I don't think you had heard of the road programs that I mentioned.
I hadn't heard that they had gotten out.
I see.
When everything went sideways with the project, I was one of the first people there to realize that what we were being told and what in fact was happening were very different things, and that these bodies that we were creating were, this was not some kind of corporate created thing, neither was it an alien broadcast, but it was a hyper developed, cutting edge set of technologies. Some of the technologies had been developed pre-collapse.
I see.
We've already dropped the name Copernicus Dusk. We already know about that. These were military grade technologies lost pre-war. Essentially, sleeves for remote piloting or for hyper intelligent programs to manage, to work in post climatological collapse environments.
I see. You're saying that these sleeves were that when they were developed back then, that was the intent.
There was a version of this, some old tech from before, that this was the seed for this.
I see.
And
Okay.
and Dusk's people certainly were invested in this. When the first of these intelligences was beamed into that black box, into the bodies, and so on, most people thought it was just some kind of alien learning device or something else. But that didn't make sense to me. And I saw that these things could step out of these bodies and operate in the veil itself, manipulate the veil itself. Luckily, we had, because we wanted to stay off the grid, we had a veil isolate lab.
A very good precaution.
Things went sideways. Well, people were already talking about how to contain these beings and so on. The problem being that it wasn't clear how to kill them, how to destroy them within the veil or without. When the collapse happened, I took the blueprints that we had for the sleeves and vanished out. I paid a good deal of money to be extracted. Not long after that, I was able to track down a line of people working their way up the, how do I put this? The corporate chain. Copernicus Dusk went to Mars. And from what I can tell from the people that I talked to, he managed to get everybody killed.
His whole shipload.
Yes. But he cortical stacked, created backup for a lot of these people, and he was trying to do a rotated sleeving of the people. He ended up having to come back here because he just didn't have the resources to do what he needed to do there. He was able to use the greed of certain corporations to fool them with this sort of alien download thing and get this project going. But there was some pushback. I don't know exactly what went down, but Dusk's ship was destroyed. That's around the time that my lab got washed out. There may be a connection. I don't know. What I did hear was that Dusk backed himself up, beamed himself down to a location here, to a net here in the city. But that, as I understand it, it was either a trap or incompatible. There is somewhere in the city a server prison that Dusk and the crew of this ship are locked into. And these VR beings, the ones that got out, are looking for it. There are probably others. I don't know how they propagate. I don't know if they can propagate, but there were at least 6 in our facility, and I have reason to believe that there were a few others. And they are trying to locate Dusk to free him. And they will incarnate him, and they will incarnate the crew, and they will take over the Veil here in this city, because you've already interacted with them, right? Kind of looks at you, Riddle, or they look at you. You know that they feed on the Veil.
This one, pointing to, or if we have the body there for in a lab or whatever, or the one I brought you.
Mm-hmm.
We have reason to believe that the consciousness within it was not fully aware of the location that the body was in.
I made modifications to the bodies when we were able to, so that when they stepped out and stepped back in, I locked them in a loop. I am not sure that we can pull that trick again. I had a VR simulation of a Regency romance that was small enough to hide, but potent enough to hold them.
And they had been enjoying this romance in the sunken lab until such time as we happened upon it, and
it connected back up with the outside Veil at that point. They were able to move out
And these were the non-prisoners. These were the ones who were agents to try to free Dusk.
Yes. I don't know whether he created self-sufficient AIs, whether he melded the consciousness of people who were on the crew, or what. But I do know that the sort of the black box brain is kind of what allowed them to originally incarnate and transmit from there to the Veil itself.
And we have no idea who has this server or where it might be.
There came a point at which I stopped wanting to know.
Well, that's understandable, but if they were to be freed, it would, well, I suppose it would destroy the Veil, or at least corrupt it significantly.
There are people in the city who rent out processing power in their brains or operate as dolls, other people riding their consciousness. There's
Yes.
people who are hooked up all kinds of ways to the Veil right now. And I'm afraid what these things would do to that.
Yes.
They can get
I'll kind of-
inside the cyber brains. Kind of looks
I'll
at
kind
you,
of
Riddle.
I'll look around to the others to see if there's anything they want to poke on here.
So
You
you,
mean, what do you mean get inside cyber brains?
That's how they can move through the Veil, and they seem like part of the Veil, so they can get in to those devices.
And this has happened? Or something that you're worried could happen?
Given what I saw, it's a logical outgrowth. I don't know whether that would seem like you would lose your personality, or whether it would seem like you had a ghost piggybacking with you, or a secret friend, or what. I have no idea what that would be like.
Heller.
and Helen kind of stops and goes, so you have the blueprints for these doll things, though.
I do. It is
Making more?
Pardon?
Are you making more?
They're expensive, but they are a long-term useful commodity here in QuickMed, because they can handle hazardous environments. They're not cheap at all, but put one in with every trauma station, and you've got somebody who can handle that stuff.
And it's AI that's controlling them, or someone remotely?
Someone remotely.
The ones in your facility that we discussed last time, not one of yours.
They are. The reason I knew that you were telling the truth is we had some people go offline, and we'd had some of these. I thought that we'd had some kind of breakdown of systems we were trying to get, but what you told me explained a lot. I have made changes to those to essentially make it more difficult. Essentially, some better encryption and kind of dead man switch. If I had to rip out the brains and make them essentially less sensitive, make them more of a broadcast box. We have a set of people here, some paraplegics, some decommed military, some NDEs that do the piloting for us.
However, should dust get out, his genius could perhaps find a way through this, one would imagine. And that still doesn't
Well,
completely...
it's a backup of a genius. Is that a genius anymore?
It depends on how much it's downloaded, and is it a facsimile or is it the person?
I'm not a Buddhist or a Neo-Zen anti-techer. I couldn't tell you. That's outside of my area of expertise.
The rogue being you encountered, Riddle, the one I spoke with you about, this would be one of the searchers, one of the ones wishing to free Dusk, in your estimation?
That's what it sounded like.
And yet you discussed it as being somewhat feral. Or presenting as not terribly reasonable.
You're talking about the one that I ran into in the hospital?
Yeah, that was kind of, smashed you around. Didn't it have some sort of, like,
Appeared out of nowhere and screamed and slammed my head into a toilet a bunch.
I guess that doesn't imply that it's feral. It just implied that it wasn't wanting to talk, maybe.
It wasn't staying around to listen to reason. But I mean, it doesn't mean it wasn't capable of it, but it definitely wasn't.
Anything else, team?
Who were the corpse they were working with?
When you say they,
Dusk.
that I don't know. I mean, if you mean, do you mean pre-collapse or do you mean in the present tense?
In the present tense.
Besides, and I have to go back to my notes here.
Okay.
Notes. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
That's fine.
You know it's going to be good because I have to look it up.
Yeah.
So the company that I work for was Apollonian.
Mm-hmm. That was the lab.
Right. There were two other companies I knew that were connected with this. Sorry, and when I say companies, I mean guilds here in this. One of them was, where is it? Just a second ago. Cosmos Brotherhood, which is a name that you'd heard before. And Tyler, what's the name of the third guild?
Just
Give
form
me
it out.
yeah, we'll go give it a generic.
Ooh, let's go with the Slobodan Consortium.
How do I spell that?
Slobadan. Slobodan.
The Sabaton Consortium.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Those are the three that I knew were involved.
These programs that are out there trying to free Dusk. Is there anything distinctive, a signature, something that we could tell if it's one of them, and or give us an alarm of their nearness?
I say, I don't know. I don't. The conversation we had before, your friend Brittle was able to detect these sleeves, but these things operate in a different way. I don't know.
You said you were surprised that they were free. Do you think this is one that has slipped the prison, or
surprised that they were free? Yeah, I was surprised because I heard that the building got blown up. And I thought that hopefully those things had been destroyed, but it's clear that the net had gotten connected to them and they'd gotten out before that.
Yes, that's unfortunate.
It's no way for you to know.
No.
Certainly no one else I know who was connected with the project was ever going to mess with it or had any sense of what was going on.
But
You've been
truthfully, that means, though, that the most likely place where the prison is with Apollonia or Cosmos or Slobodan, because they're the only ones that would really know that something needed imprisoning.
There was another name that I heard in connection with this, but it's rumor and hearsay, so I don't know how true it is. But apparently there's some kind of guild named Aegis. I heard their name pop up towards the end of this.
We've heard that name.
When I asked around about it, I very much got the sense that it would be better off for my health to not press the point.
I see.
I've given you what I can. Does it feel like our deal is concluded?
You have been extremely helpful. Considering the stakes that are on the board, should we have a chance to deal with it, would you be willing to help?
No. But what I would like is that if you would put some kind of fail-safe that would send me a text alert if you're all killed, so that I know that I should go to ground.
I can give you that courtesy, and
if anything comes after me, I will send you a text as well.
That is appreciated.
But right now, I want to go back and hide in the womb of my corporate arcology, back in the secured central area of this building. I don't even like being this close to the outside walls.
Well, I hope that it is protection enough should we fail. Thank you for your time.
It was a pleasure doing business with you.
And I'll stand up and head out, figuring the others will follow.
And you'll be escorted politely out of the company building. Marley,
Well,
you were going to say
friends.
something? Oh, sorry.
I'm now Bar.
Ah. Well, we fucked up.
It was inevitable. Something would have connected the Veil to them, and perhaps they would not have been as aware of the danger once it was found. I have to tell you, my friends, and at this point I think we're probably getting to the car,
Right.
and I feel that we're somewhere safe enough that we won't be overheard. I have to offer my apology. When first you brought this issue to me, I did not fully understand how important it was. The three of you have diligently looked into it. If we are able to stop this, if there is success in our future, it is because of the three of you. And I hope that you receive the accolades for that you deserve.
Riddle? Oh, I'm sorry. Heller, let's start with you.
And it sort of step and go, oh, I just want to ask a question. I myself am personally, my life signs are being tracked. Are you all being monitored too?
Well, I have my medical contract that if something terrible happens to me would probably send a rescue.
I know, but are they monitoring your status? So like when you blink out, something is sent.
I imagine that if, say, my vital signs were to show decrease, then yes, possibly.
Okay. And the thing is Heller will sort of lift his arm, and you'll see that there's a place like near his torso where it's still the flesh. And you can see that there's sort of like a blinking light set in there. And he goes, that's my chip. He goes, because I'm part of a medical trial. If my vitals go wrong, they dispatch because they can't have any more deaths on the trial.
Oh,
But maybe we should have those. You should have those so we know. And so for the fail safe, but also for the others of us.
I could provide, and I'll kind of hold up and you'll see where there's something like it printed on me that would be basically my dock whacking contract.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I've been shot and I can't get up. Your metal alert bracelet, yes.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just saying maybe we ought to be chipped. We can keep this network small. I have an AI that monitors my signs. I could see if I could plug yours in, on the side, and have them keep track.
I suppose I would be amenable to that. Riddle, Marley.
I mean, are we gonna want somebody tracking us?
Not somebody. It's my AI revision.
Yes, it would be Heller.
I don't mind Heller tracking me, but isn't your AI connected to the corp that's doing the experiments?
Well, see, and he sort of looks at at his, his old-fashioned blueberry-like thing and goes, well, I've got about 60 days left while they're still going to keep me alive. After that, me and the AI actually get scuttled.
Well, that's not a lot of time.
So anyway,
What?
Revision has no problem, how should I say, doing extracurriculars if that gives them Go lay out later.
Well, I mean, there are these bodies that we don't want anyone else taking over.
Exactly.
If there's already, say, Revision's consciousness in one, would that prevent
That prevent
one of
Dusk
Dusk's
and
people?
his- If maybe if Revision knew, I don't know. We could talk
What about you?
Revision. Me?
Yeah.
I'm not an AI.
What
Right.
do you mean you
But-
will be scuttled, Heller?
I mean, it's not like immediately or anything. It's just that the next time I die, they won't revive me.
Wait, you revive when you die? Wait, you've died?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I guess I have. I've died. I mean, sometimes I just don't even make it through the night, but that's okay.
Is this a matter of proper medical treatment? I can certainly try to arrange some other medical provider that is not planning on a deadline for their continued work there.
They will find, I think you know, Heller, that if another medical company or facility attempts to work on you, they will find that you are proprietary property of another corporation guild, and they are not allowed to do so.
The trial has to run its course.
Then you are going to die at the end of this time. Well,
Well,
we're just going to have to make sure you are much more careful in the future.
in circumstances, I mean, understand, I'm coming apart. Okay, so it's just a matter of time. It's just why I'm trying to get things taken care of.
I don't know if I'm willing to accept that entirely, Heller.
And I've had a few years with it. Don't worry, you'll get used to it.
I may have to think on something that is perhaps an alternative. I've grown moderately fond of you, Heller.
I'll be sure to give you a picture from one of my good days.
How much of your body can you replace?
I don't know. That's the experimental part on my side. Revision's helping me. We kind of keep it on the down low.
I mean, could you replace all of your body except for your brain?
That's what I'm working on. Some parts of it are harder than others, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Dollbots. Whole
You're
body.
Creepy,
Right there.
though.
They are that, yeah.
I'd almost rather be a robot. I don't know. I mean, but I think it'd work great for revision.
Well, that's one less that, well, maybe at least Dusk's people would have to fight for it.
True. I'll talk to revision then. But yeah, if you guys get chips, I can have revision watch.
Riddle, you've
Riddle,
been
you've
quiet.
Just trying to understand at least half of what's going on.
Are you willing to be chipped in this fashion, Riddle?
I suppose, at least for a while.
Well, unfortunately, I am not entirely sure that we have grown closer to our quarry, if in fact it is our intent to disable Dusk and his plans, which it sounds like it is, at least to some extent. We would need to find this prison server and somehow erase it, destroy it, preferably while it's not connected to the Veil at large.
Or the veil at tiny, it just needs a little spot to hide.
If we find it, I can jam it.
Oh, that's cool. So
I don't even have to touch it.
aren't there are those guys that like save the information off though? I bet some of them would know about what we would be looking for if it was to save, I don't know, a couple of mad scientists and a bunch of their skilled henchmen, plus one crazy corporate dude at the top of it all. I mean, that's going to take power and that's going to take processing. They'd at least know what that looks like. And then we could scan for that, right, Riddle?
Sure.
Just like you scan for the veil moving around weird around those guys.
I will say that it may not be entirely, and we should have all options on the table. We may not know that one of these corporations is actually the one who is imprisoning them, because if they were simply imprisoning them, why would they just imprison them? They would want to use the knowledge, the skill of Dusk.
Here is the thing that you will know, Gabriel Riddles on. The idea that you could recreate someone's consciousness, a full-formed, like, re-sleeve of an entire person, that's radical technology. That's technology
way beyond what we got.
That you don't have access to. You have people piloting things, you have AIs, you have recreations of people, but they're still very much just AI recreations of people. They're not like transferring your consciousness from one place to another.
Which comes back to that question of, is it a facsimile or is it truly the person?
Yeah.
And this may be the person.
That's the claim that's being made.
And I mean, that, like you said, it's got to be something big. It's got to be visible in one way or another.
If these on the outside are searching, well, one would, first off, we have to presume they have not found Dusk yet. They have the advantage on us of having a head start. So they have probably been moving about trying to find this prison.
Wait.
They would.
Which they are we were talking about? The Dusk's people, right? Okay.
Dusk
Sorry.
people that are on the exterior trying to rescue him.
Yes. So that's one group of people, and then the other ones are the corps that we think it's a corp that has it, that has them imprisoned.
Mm-hmm.
Do they know they're imprisoned? Do they know what they have imprisoned? That's the other question.
We don't have an answer to how the ship was destroyed. We don't have an answer to how much Dusk informed them of what and who they were dealing with. So perhaps whatever corp thinks they still have some bit of alien or some advanced thing and don't know it's Dusk or what his intentions are. We cannot presume that as fact, but it is a possibility. They could know it's him and have him imprisoned and not yet have a coherent leverage other than I will erase you to try and force him to do their will. If they do know who he is. I find that kind of, I'm sure they would have at least attempted I will erase you if you don't do what I want. The problem is that is it's a false threat because, of course, no corporation would ever actually erase that asset if they had it. They would threaten it up to the point, and then, of course, they would not do it.
Mm.
It would be, well, it would be a complete loss of potential profit. Aegis. Well, I've heard Aegis before. Where did we hear it?
That is the Hyper Guild
Mm-hmm.
that was linked
Yeah,
to
yeah.
the essentially the project to reduce the outside potential populations.
That's Marley's enemy. Mm.
And one of the things is though is that Dusk was certain that there would be sort of a environmental breakdown that would make it easy for them to come in, and this stuff was built to like work through that situation too. Hmm.
Yeah, see, he overestimated how horrible we would fall, I think.
No, we didn't fall enough. He thought we would be gone.
Well,
That's
exactly.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he overestimated the depravity and destruction we would cause.
I
Instead,
survived.
we came through in, well, whatever you would consider the shape we're in now. But it is not an ultimate calamity of extinction level.
Sounds like Aegis is still trying that on some level.
In fact, yes.
Well, or at least they have an ideal for optimal population, optimal what we need, and they are influencing things to make sure it isn't exceeded.
So would they have a use for Dusk and his people?
One of the greatest scientific minds of pre-collapse? Yes.
Let's do this. Let's take our first break here. When we come back, I'd like to kind of quickly go through like threads that are on the table and leads to kind of like sketch those out, and we can add to that list. And then I want to do a once around of individual scenes to check in on your daily lives. Does that sound cool? Okay, let's take 10 and then we'll come back and do that. So let's look at a big picture and some little picture things that are on the table, just to kind of go, what do we got? What is on the table? What's the implication here? So I think we know that Aegis is our meta big bad, right? That's our that's the elephant we're gonna have to take down in bites, but things can be resourced towards it. We know that that's on the table as that. What do we have as then some other leads? And I'm going to kind of put Aegis here in the chat thread. Other things that we have, and then I'll ask if there's some things that I missed on the list here. We have the consciousnesses themselves, these exo consciousnesses are
There's the ones that are free and the ones that are in prison.
Yeah, the invaders, let's call them. We don't know how to trace them, but probably they can be traced. They're tools, they're out there. They're trying to find Dusk. They are a task that can be undertaken and maybe dealt with, figured out how to deal with them. There is we'll say the Dusk's prison, probably tied into Aegis, but that's still another, like, maybe that's a thing we can pursue. Related to that, we also have something that has been mentioned before, but maybe got dropped a little bit. Dr. Kawasaki. Now, Dr. Kawasaki is the person who Null was looking for, because she was involved in the project that turned Null and some other people into things like these consciousnesses, like VR people that can exist and have a physical form as well. So that's another potential lead there. We also have kind of going in another direction. We have Demise, and there was talk about stopping Demise or recruiting Demise, but essentially the person who shares Marley's talents, but who doesn't seem like they're entirely well balanced. We have the audio war. There's still a war going on in the music industry, and you are gotten yourselves into a position to start like figuring out what your next steps, now that you've got some recordings and things, like where do you go from here, how do you manufacture goods, and how do you step into that particular war. And I think kind of on like a singular line, we have not necessarily a big sort of public thing, but we have Riddle's additional persona. That person there. I'm going to put that in parentheses, whether that's a thing. But are there any other big threads or plots that maybe I left off here? I'm sure I did. Tyler?
As a sub thing, we also know Aegis is doing population control on Marley's people.
Yeah. So the environmental engineer disaster. Maybe looking at a way to kludge up the works on that. Anything else? It's a bunch of stuff on there, but we have some things that we can chew on and wrap up. Let's talk meta here then, just for a minute before I kind of go to individual. We're here in October. I would like to continue on into November if people are okay with that. Just because I haven't had a chance. I'm going to pause recording here for a second. So with those things in mind, I would like to do like a check-in with each of our characters. If there are some like start of session moves or other session moves you want to do, or preparations and things like that, we can do those as well to kind of get those resolved. Heller, do you want to start?
Sure, because I'm pretty consistent about what I'm going to do, since it's important for my continued, existence in this plane, right?
Okay.
So I think I'm going to go and look for some scraps. So see if I can fix whatever's going on. We know that I started working on my hand, but I assumed that there's a certain point at which when I went to see Vision, they identified the next part of me that needs to be bolstered is the word that we've taken to using. So
what's this new place and what's unique about it that you haven't explored before?
I think that it is the complex, like around where the insurance and like hospitals used to be in the city,
Mm-hmm.
but like about 8 years ago, they all picked up and moved to another part. And there was like some reason where there was like that the foundations and stuff in the city weren't very good there. And it was like literally like a rebuild thing. It kind of might have looked like an Aegis thing, but it was like it wasn't precisely. It wasn't like at least funded by them or anything.
Sure.
But so they had picked up. So it's like the thing of there's a bunch of cut rate places that are still there using those rooms and facilities, but there's also a bunch of stuff that's just kind of like the things have come apart. And I think I actually am just going to go through and see if I can find some good stainless steel articulated parts and things like that.
Let's have you roll. What do you want to roll that with?
Oh, it's a good question. It's always like when you're going to, when you've just told your friends that they should probably chip themselves so that we know when everyone has died. You know, I'm not saying it's the happiest moment of my time, nor is it peaceful. So why don't we go with sad? It's sad, Lowell.
Okay. A mark a sad, remove a joy.
Okay, that's what I did. Okay, so I'm gonna roll and add nothing. So it's guaranteed to go super well, super well.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, rolling 2d6.
Okay.
It's a 5, Lowell.
It's a 5.
It is.
So the good news is
Yes.
you get to mark the whatchamacallit?
Experience.
Yeah.
Yes. Yay, yay, yay.
The bad news is that while you are climbing around in here, there is you'll hear the hovering sound, and it takes you a second because of the bouncing around, and you realize that it's a private property patrol drone.
Oh.
And it swings by you, and like a speeding ticket cam flashes you.
Oh.
And you can hear the ping come up on your personal system of essentially you can pay a fine, or you can go to a court and that kind of thing, and your debt clock is going to tick up one more.
No. Oh, I can't afford
Would you like
this.
an electronic or a physical receipt?
So there's probably like some sort of thing of which one is more advantageous than the other for the situation. Like I won't lose the electronic one, but if you have a physical one, you could claim that it was unreadable or something like that. I'll ask for the physical one.
Certainly. You get another ping as your charge for the printing.
No!
And this little plastic card summons will drop down on you.
Didn't even have any signs posted.
Yes, and you have 60 seconds to vacate the area.
Which area? What is the bounds of the area?
You have
please?
60 seconds to vacate. You now have 58 seconds to vacate the area.
We'll pick a straight line and go in it.
Okay. And you'll stop once a point at which the thing stops and stops doing the countdown on you. You realize that you have left the area.
No signs. Yeah, I will do a scan and go, look, no signs, no signs, no.
The cold, unfeeling robotic eye does not respond to your queries and pleas. Riddle, what about you? Do you want to go check in with your friend?
Well, I do have a renewed start of session.
Oh, that's right.
For the Thy Will Be Done.
Yeah, let's roll it. What do you want to roll that with? Let's look at your
see.
character. Are you still lopsided? Yeah, you're
A
still
little bit,
lopsided.
but not as badly. But this is with hunger, which is up to 1 now.
Okay.
That's a 9.
That is a 9.
So 7 to 9, the MC holds 1. Throughout the session, the MC can spend 1 to have the object name something it must have, or have it propose or reject a course of action.
Okay. All right. So I have 1 hold.
But I think at the moment I'd like to track down, catch up with Marley. Actually,
Okay. Marley, where does Riddle find you?
Well, see, I have this new move that I haven't used, and I want to try it out. Especially, I want to try out a kind of ridiculous option that I'm not sure how it'll work. So it's more of a mechanical meta curiosity. But,
Okay.
yeah. So this being a green mother move, tell me if this is a way overstepping it. But you can use a product of the natural world and like communicate with it or various things. And since I mostly have been so like the part of the natural world that I use is water. So I mean, like all water in the world isn't. It would have to be connected.
It'd be a body of water, so possibly like you'd be operating with the rot or the algae or the plankton that exists within the water.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so like maybe there's like an old stream that has, now it just runs through pipes.
Okay.
And like so I'm at the end of the pipes where it comes out. And like there's got to be, enough algae and bacteria in this pipe because it's not like they're, going to clean it out.
Yeah. What color does the water come out?
Kind of greenish black at the moment, but
Okay.
sometimes it's brown, sometimes it's reddish.
As you're watching Riddle, you see it come down. There'll be a chunk of brown and a chunk of red comes through
Yeah,
to break
it's
up the
honestly pretty
water.
gross.
So explain to me again why I can't rewrite all of this horribleness. It'd be much more pleasant to look at and smell and be around and touch if you just let me rewrite a couple lines of code.
I mean, you can rewrite the code in the Veil if you want. It's not going to change what it is outside of the Veil. But if you want to perceive it in a different way, you're welcome to.
It will change my experience of it.
I mean, you can turn any color you want. Bright purple if you want.
So, is this the thing for you now? Storm drains?
Well, it's like I'm just trying. I have all these things I can do, and sometimes I kind of get a sense of what I can do, but I don't really know how far I can take it or what'll happen. So I'm trying to learn before I have to use it, and then end up impaled on a pipe again.
Okay, that's fair. I'll give you being stabbed 1.5 times in the abdomen with a pipe. I suppose that would leave an impression.
So, I'd like to maybe do these things when it's not an emergency, and hopefully not get impaled again. I think that was just a freak accident, but,
Let's hope. So, look, you were talking about this the other day, and I don't know exactly what you're feeling or finding appealing about a scummy algae, mud, nasty, toxic. Okay, I'm sorry. No, that's off topic. You like your mud, and that's fine. But
It's not so much
as
like it as I don't know. It's like a family member that you don't necessarily like, but they're still
so, when I was going through the installation procedures for the cyberbrain and working with different layers of the veil in a more personal and internal way, things got really, really weird, like really weird. I kept seeing things, and there was a good 3 months where I was sleepwalking every night. I didn't actually know it until my third missed court date. Then there was a lot of video.
oh.
What I'm saying is I understand how these things can change how you see yourself, how you interact with the world, that sort of thing. And, well, look, at my worst times, Genji, I've talked about him before, they were a big help. They're not always the easiest to get along with, but they have really deep insights into how the human mind can stretch and warp around weird technologies. And while I'm always happy to wade into horrible filth with you, if that's what you need, if there's something on a more empathetic or spiritual level that they could help you with, that's not always my specialty.
Right. Not mine either. I think there is some. It's like there's some overlap between what you do and what I do, and I don't know where that overlap is, but there is one.
It's creeping about halfway up my calf at the moment.
Okay, yeah. Let me get this over with so we can get out of here.
So, how much essence do you want to spend on this, Marley?
Let's see. I have 3, and this is just roll plus essence. I think. Let me check.
Excuse me.
I will spend 2.
Okay.
Oh, and I didn't need to spend 2. I didn't need to spend any.
Oh,
So on a 10 plus, choose 2, or you can choose 1 and regain a spend essence.
Let me look at these. I think I probably. Okay. Yeah, I would like my senses to extend through the target. So I was part of it. That's kind of what I was going for originally.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no idea how this would work. How would treating the target as if it were a named NPC for moves? Like, what would that even mean in this case?
So this would mostly be if you were dealing with an animal or
Okay,
a plant,
okay,
or
that makes
let's even
sense.
say
Yeah.
a cyber enhanced animal or something like that.
Okay.
You could
Algae, yeah.
yeah.
I was like, what? I don't know.
Yeah. Essentially, it allows you to affect their consciousness as if they were an named NPC.
I see. Okay. Right. So you can yeah, I mean, it says +1 to sway ultimatum, which, yeah, doesn't do me a whole lot of good. So I'll take my senses extend through the target, and I'll take an essence back.
Okay. And you do gain an assess hold immediately.
Cool.
Which now that's now I will note that is a hold, so you can spend that on a question or a declaration.
Okay. Nice. And CSS. So I'm kind of doing this looking for demise. Because, and I'm not trying to hide it from them. I actually want to talk to them. So, am I going to ask something about demise, or am I declaring something true in the fiction?
Let me offer you a thing here, just as it occurs to me. Perhaps the reason you've chosen this is because you've sensed something here, and I think you can reach back along it, and you can sense a reservoir, an underwater cistern of rot that I think you can tell is Demise's sanctuary. It is a physical manifestation of whatever his homeland is.
Okay.
The way that you're tied to yours, this seems to be a thing that he is tied to, probably a place he goes to physically, but also spiritually.
Cool. This is good to know. Awesome. Okay, yeah. So like I think like Demise is definitely gonna know that I was there in that case. And that I'm looking for them, and I don't think I can like leave them a message, but it's definitely I don't think they're yeah, I can't really leave a message, but like there's nothing threatening about what I'm doing, I guess is what
Well, here's the thing is I think if you wanted to not get that other essence back, I think we can modify what being a green mother is, and you can essentially like affect that area and kind of change and embody something about your own homeland, and maybe give an impressionistic message.
Okay.
What is your
Yeah, I like
homeland
that.
embody?
Look at what I put for that. What did I say?
Definitely
Oh, I wrote-
alligators.
Oh my god, that would be
Looks like
that would
scared
be
and
not the
peaceful.
impression I want to give, but it would be funny.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to
Yeah.
be non-threatening, so I'm going for peaceful here.
Okay. So I think you essentially leave a message that through this sort of shared liminal space that you connect to, that I mean you mean well, you mean peace, and that you desire to speak with them.
Yeah.
That seems fair.
So I'm just curious, like, what that looks like to
Yeah.
Riddle as this takes over you.
I think I'm not aware of it, but I'm actually like sinking into the water. Like the water wasn't that deep, but suddenly I'm sinking into it. And then like when I'm done, I've like come up and like gasp for air because I've suddenly realized, oh, I'm underwater.
Yeah, I think Riddle is like out in the middle of this again, not very deep stream, but has gotten himself like down and is like holding the last of you down in the mud, trying to help you out. This is the sort of thing
We can go. Sorry.
Yeah,
Didn't know that was gonna happen.
So imagine if this was, I don't know, a street or a water park, a public restroom. What if you just came out of a sink somewhere?
I was gonna say that's way too small, but like,
Look, I just got
physics is
attacked
not
by
making
some
sense.
jackass that popped out of a toilet recently.
Yes,
So
exactly. No, I just I left a message for a murderer who has the same powers as I do. Let's hope that turns out well.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a great start to a long, famous friendship.
Well, I figure if I let them know ahead of time that I don't mean any harm and I just want to talk, maybe I won't get stabbed this time.
Let's start investigating that theory somewhere with fewer murderers and mosquitoes.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's cut to Gabriel.
Yes.
What are you up to? What's the scene that you want to do here?
Oh, mercy. Well, we have so many things on the old list here, so I think I want a personal scene that has less to do with them, but will be. I'm going to ask Heller to have dinner with me.
That sounds great.
And I think it's going to be at the clubhouse. At the at our apartment.
Yeah.
Right. Which is distinctive from where your sister is and the studio. Those are two different places.
Right.
So up there at the penthouse, the clubhouse, I'm asking you to come there, and I will have arranged a very, very nice meal for us. And it's just the two of us.
Okay. I do think that Gabriel's kind of like surprised when it's just the two of us. If that makes any sense.
Like that you didn't bring anyone?
No, like that I expected the others to be here. Does that make any sense?
Oh, you say you're surprised that the others are.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay, that big. All right. Yeah. Please come in.
Yeah, sure. And I'll kind of be like, cool. So, and kind of, so what's up?
I have a couple of different topics I would like to discuss with you.
Okay.
First, we find ourselves in a very complicated situation.
Yeah.
We have what's going on with poor Marley and her people.
Mm.
We have maniacal mad scientists who potentially could be out there and destroy our world.
Yes.
I am quite concerned about making sure that our little project in the musical realm
Me too.
goes well.
I think we got to lock that down ASAP, which is old-timey for as soon as possible, I found out.
I am very pleased to hear it, because I would like to see that reach a culmination.
Oh, excellent.
And
do you
along
need
with
from me?
that, well, how do you feel that I think our first bit was making sure we had a receptor that people could use that would not, I believe, melt their brain.
Jelly their inner ear. Yeah, that's right. I mean, I suppose if you kept it going without the protections, it could maybe melt your brain, but you would have not been hearing music for a long time by that point.
Do we think we could get a prototype together and we can begin? I'd like to begin recording soon.
Riddle came up with some software for that, I believe. So, or I mean, some algorithms for it. So yeah, essentially senses for the person, does the tests to understand where that range is for them, and then does a splice on the audio part that they can't listen to, like that they can't do. It splices from the other parts to like it takes what's in that and it lays it in the other ranges, so they still are hearing it, but at a different range. So everyone has a slightly different experience with the music, actually.
Purely personalized because of their own makeup.
Exactly.
That has its own appeal.
Exactly.
And your delightful sister is on board with this?
She was when she found out that we'd found a way around jellying her inner ear. Yep.
Well, we would not have proceeded had it
Ex-
been an ear jelly.
Excellent. Absolutely true. I would not have allowed that to happen. I would have made sure you found someone else to work with.
Well, I think you imagine I have a rather high capacity for ear jelly, and I probably would have avoided it altogether. We have Marley.
I am going to X card the phrase ear jelly anymore
All right.
for the rest of the session.
Perfectly fine. And it's been solved. So, and we have Marley's delightful brother.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
who-
great.
And I believe the two of them will make wonderful music together if we can get these prototypes on them, create
And
the content.
if you can keep his attention. He bores quickly.
I think music, though, tends to be one of the things that does hold him steady. I've found musicians to be a flighty lot, but when you stick them there with their guitar, they just doodly away and make their things happen.
And Sir stops and goes, "What's a guitar?"
Surely you've seen him. He is almost the image of a young, handsome man who stringed instruments, sits under trees, seduces women with it. You know, guitar.
Like in those pictures? That's what.
Right.
Oh. Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard one.
Well, regardless, we will have them as a strong duet.
Okay.
We will create content, and from there, the question becomes, do we jump the competition by putting this out, in which case we will need a means for the public to hear it, which means mass production of your particular creation.
That's a whole different thing. There are some crazy patents on this stuff. I think that what it is you have to get this all set up so that as soon as they release whatever they have, our music releases at the exact same time.
That is exactly what I believe is proper as well.
Yep,
We
yep.
wait for the moment, and then we are surprisingly right there to take advantage of the art form.
What I can help you do is we've made those prototypes and everything. I think we can figure out how to make enough so that you can get like a bigger group of people working on it, maybe more musicians, maybe another sound guy, maybe some, that sort of thing, if you want more people on the project.
Well, Helen, that is at least a bit of what I was wanting to talk about.
Oh, okay, good.
If there are more, then I am certain my company, Dionysus, would be happy to have a new stable to take advantage of a developing technology.
Yeah.
And your niece would probably be rewarded well from the table above us.
Okay.
Now, if we instead, say, had an amazing, virtuosic performer, duet, small contingency that was able to immediately take advantage of this, well, perhaps the pie would be smaller, but it would be our pie.
Are you talking going solo? I mean, like Gabriel Limited?
I'm thinking that perhaps there may be some advantage to not spreading our particular windfall too widely.
So that would be like
it is a thought.
Yeah. So are you going to try to do both at the same time? I mean, that's like spy stuff.
That would be the idea, and then perhaps leverage it within the corporation myself, to our benefit, of course. Or use what comes from that to perhaps spiral off and perhaps develop an agency of my own.
Ooh.
Our own, in a way.
So I can.
Not a legal way, but a way.
Ooh. That's okay. I have no sense of what's legal and isn't legal. I'll just say I don't know. But I can certainly help with the tech stuff. I just can't help with any of the corporate stuff. But I can keep my mouth shut.
Excellent. Then let us advance this as quickly as possible to be able to. Honestly, I want to hear what it's going to be as well. Don't you? Don't you want to see what it becomes?
I mean, I really want to see my little sis doing what she's always wanted to do as much as she wanted. I mean, she's amazing, Gabriel. And
she is.
And she's the best. I mean,
she's going to be.
Yeah. But I mean, person-wise, she's great.
She is an absolute delight. And well, as I say, I want to hear it as well. Surely, Heller, there's...
Are you saying you want a headset of your own? I'll make you one.
Absolutely. I have to hear the product.
Yeah.
But don't you want to hear the art that's created? You're going to be making the memes.
Yeah. I'll be here when the recording, right?
And I think you might even notice on it, there's a complete not understanding of you dismissing the art that is here. That this is a brand new art form. We're going to have one. He is just stunned that means nothing to you.
and I think that it doesn't mean nothing, but that it means a means to protect his little sister.
All right. And so, as you know, perhaps Heller, they say music is what feeds the soul.
Mm.
And that brings me to my last bit of business.
Okay. You made it sound really ominous.
I have no intention of standing by idly as you go gently into this good night. You are helping me. Let me help you.
And Heller Thompson goes, listen, I have a terminal condition. Some people are allergic to the world. That's my body.
We all have a terminal condition. It's called life, and that does not mean we do not fight against it tooth and nail, red of claw.
He puts his hand up and he goes, I'm fighting. When things don't work anymore,
You don't have to fight alone. Surely that is what the four of us have shown. You help all of us, and yet you refuse to be helped.
And Ken stops and goes, listen, that trial that I'm in, they're supposed to be, that's what this is about. Okay. They haven't made any inroads on it. There's a bunch of other people that are in it, same situation I'm in, but they don't even know how to fix pieces. So they're just losing parts of themselves. I'm in a ton better shape than they are.
Then there is something that is going right. Take what we perhaps can offer to push you along this line, along this battlefront.
It's been helping me all along. I mean, I've been able to find stuff. I have enough cash, I have time. I haven't gotten real, hungry lately. It's been great.
You say that the trial ends at a certain point, at which they will stop reviving you.
Yes.
The implication is that if they continue to revive you, that you could continue to do your work. Is that true?
I mean, up to a certain point.
Up to a certain point, but certainly past the point of I stopped doing it and you died.
Well, yeah.
We're thinking of taking a mad scientist from decades in the past pre-fall down. Let
Pretty
me
cool.
help you work on a continuation of a medical test. Let us keep reviving until we win.
And he kind of leans in, he goes, Gabriel, your corporation takes care of you, but they're going to take care of me.
I will take care of you.
And he sort of like goes, I don't think you understand. I mean, yeah.
I will not stop trying to help you.
I'll tell you what, you draw up a contract. We'll set how much you can spend on me. Okay? Because I'm not going to be the SOB that bankrupts you. SOB is an old-timey way of saying son of a bitch.
I know, Helen. And I sort of smile there. This seems like an intimacy moment.
I like that. Yeah. So what is your intimacy move?
Oh, it's just horrible.
Awesome.
When the executive shares a moment of intimacy with someone, be it physical or emotional, roll without adding a state. On a 10 plus, both. On a 7 to 9, choose only one. They don't mark +1 obligation to lean on you with, or you don't get a...
That clock does increase.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The board does not take notice of them as possible leverage over me.
Uh-oh.
Let's have you roll.
Yeah, let's. All right. So I'm rolling with nothing added. It's a straight roll. I got an 11.
Okay. So you don't increase your debt clock, and the board doesn't notice. Heller, what is your catabolist?
Mine's nice because I don't have to roll. Essentially what it is things speak move triggers immediately. So I rolled a 10 plus and I can ask these questions of the person that I'm with.
So what do you want to ask? And again, these can be like literally asking them or impressions.
Oh my gosh, I got 3 questions too. I think the first thing that Heller wants to understand is what is it that you wish that he would do? Because
I think certain.
yeah, because you kind of speak around it in a sort of thing. So you'd be very like, what is it that you want him to do?
I think that for this topic we have here, I want you to fight as hard to find a solution for ending what benefit you're getting out of this test, them keeping you going as you do for everything else. You know, for all of us, for all these projects, you know, all these things. I want you as dedicated to seeing that happen as well. And, you know, there's a bit of the, you know, let me know, like, who's doing this? Who can I leverage to extend your there's a bit of give me something that shows what I can do to help.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. And then how can I get you to do X? How can I get you to essentially protect my little sister through this, no matter whether this goes well or poorly?
The truth is, I will probably take care of her regardless.
Okay.
That the question is, of course, if she doesn't do well, she'll get shunted off somewhere and just taken care of, as compared to if this goes great and she's a megastar, then I'm going to take care of her like you do a megastar.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, I think you get enough sincerity out of Gabriel. He's not going to leave her destitute, throw her, out there to the wolves or into the sewers. He'll take care of her to make sure she's a super huge priority. We need this tech to work.
Okay. And then the other thing he wants to know is, who handled this before I did? Who was your go-to person? The one.
You are aware that Riddle has been a long time person that he's been using, but there's a string of people who over the years Gabriel has brought in to be his tech person or his next person to get a good idea. He's not again, I don't think Gabriel's a bad person. So he might have outgrown them, but he never stole from them or abused them. They just might still be down there doing what they do. He didn't always he doesn't elevate a lot.
Okay.
Is probably the bad end. Is he's never really pulled folks up with him. Now, has he grown? Or are you more interesting? But so far he's not really pulled folks up. And there have over the years, we do dangerous stuff. That's why he hired you.
Mm-hmm.
There have been plenty who have died.
Okay.
Not because of him, but because of the job.
Yeah.
Yeah, not because of you. Just because the job you hired them for.
Right. Well,
exactly. Two completely different things.
Their estate was paid. No problem.
Right. I mean, we got shot at together, so I mean, it's not like I don't usually send us around the corner to buy chocolates. That's not what our jobs are.
Okay. So yeah, so those are my 3 questions. So
let's cut that there. Let's take our second break, and then we'll continue, okay? I like to imagine that Marley and Riddle come back, after to the clubhouse post Gabriel and Heller's dinner, and I think there is a moment when you all are chatting when Marley, you will look up and you will see just this black mold start to form on the wall of the apartment, with just the word "where," and then maybe like a text code below it.
Oh, excellent. Yes.
Very quickly, the room bots are massed. They alert. They swarm the wall, and disinfect, and they send a gentle appeal. You would wish to exit this room while we deal with this sanitary situation.
What
I
the-
hurriedly grab the code before they can.
What is that? What is happening?
It's a message. Didn't really expect it to
For-
come back that way, but it's a message.
For you
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
my wall.
from yes.
Just be glad it didn't come gushing out of the sink tap.
Oh my. Oh. Please let us go to the living room, and as we move out from there, I will pine fresh, please. Back towards the box.
Hear the door slam. There's a sealant. You can hear the pss as they hermetically seal the room for the fumigation.
Sorry, I wasn't expecting it. Yeah, wasn't expecting to get the message that way.
Who did you receive a message from in Spore text there?
A murderer who shares their powers. So, nothing to worry about.
They know this place now, Marlon?
I think they just know where, not necessarily where I am, but it's hard to explain. I don't think they know
will
this
arrange
place.
for us to have another location tomorrow. Any of you who wish to need accommodations for the evening, I can arrange that. We should leave.
I don't
Okay.
think they're trying to kill us. That I actually need to get a hold of them and tell them where to meet. Not here, obviously.
Wait, is this your child? I mean, is this the other person that comes from where you're at that is killing
Yeah.
people?
Yeah.
Do you want me to go with you when you go to meet them?
I don't know if they would take that as a. I mean, the thing is, if there's a person in the city who can, look after themselves, it's a murderer with weird powers.
Right, but you're not that person. That's
Right.
why I'm asking
Right.
if I can go with
But-
you.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, that might be a good idea.
Okay.
It didn't turn out super well last time, though, so, there's some risk involved.
I'll stay back as long as you tell me to, but just you say
Well,
the word,
it's a
I'm
good
there.
thing the corp has your signal. That's what I'm.
Exactly.
Hopefully, they won't need to revive you, but
It's my superpower for the next 6 months.
So, Marley, what do you text your new
yeah, good
pal?
question. Let's see, somewhere. You know what? Out where I slightly modified that bulldozer.
Okay.
Because
Gabriel,
why not?
Riddle, are you? It looks like Heller and Marley are about to.
Would you like others there to assist? I kind of look over to Riddle, who talked about things coming through a sink, and I feel like might know more of what the hell's going on than I do.
I mean,
I don't want them to think they're being ambushed. So I think taking one person is pushing it. They know I'm not intending any harm, so we'll be in an open area.
Well then, Riddle, perhaps you and I can find other accommodations and discuss some of the many other tasks that are on our plate.
Oh no, but what if we miss out on all the mud?
Be in touch if there is need for assistance. Don't hesitate, and let us know when it is done. I will give you the new address.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then I think we're going to cut forward to this now bounded work site that is covered with police tape and lockdown and such, and kind of avoid the corporate security drones who are around here. You can see, Heller, that there are some destroyed construction, like cranes and other equipment, and a path that goes off in the distance.
Okay, what the heck happened here? Wow.
I didn't expect this much.
Wait, what?
I mean, I didn't necessarily expect anything. I was just playing around. I was like 3/4 drunk, and it seemed like a good idea at the time.
And he's standing there, in that swath. And he's going, "You mean this? You did this?"
Indirectly.
Indirectly.
The thing I did with that tablet.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but instead of roots, I just set it loose. That's all. Who knows what a bulldozer does when it has autonomy?
You see him sort of stop and look down the path. He's like,
I guess.
I'm just going to go over the hill. And clearly he's curious to see if he can see this bulldozer, okay? He goes, just go look.
Yeah, I think you will see a place where very clearly there was a security services interdiction of this rogue bulldozer.
Like it's been exploded and everything.
Oh yeah, there's just a damaged hulk of a thing there. And you'll see this figure kind of walk around one of these great big cranes that sunk halfway into the mud and dirt. And you will see that person that you saw before, Claudius Gast, aka Demise.
Yep. Yeah, I'm suddenly like, what do I say? I didn't think this far ahead. But I'll approach them and
keeps hands in his jacket. You can notice that like everything he's wearing is plastic, and like nothing, no leather, no cloth, nothing on him like that.
Okay, yeah.
And he says, "I don't know you."
I don't know you either. but I knew you were here. I sensed your, well, what we both can do, or the same channel we both use, I guess. Which
But
tells me you're probably from where I'm from.
yeah, but you're from the settlements.
Yeah. Um, you know about this, I don't know what you call them where you are, but the floods that wash down and kill everything.
Yeah. The tides.
Yeah. So I just I thought you might find this information useful. And I told them about what is it, Aegis Alliance, and what they've been up to.
Wait. Listens to that. It kind of processes it. Don't think he's even noticed Heller. Like very focused on you. He says, "You how? How did you like? How do you do? How like?"
How do I do what?
I can't sense any others in you.
You mean like I'm not sharing my brain with anyone, no.
Then how are you this powerful?
I don't know. It's kind of new.
So you didn't have to eat anyone.
No.
And
No.
you're a lucky fuck, aren't you?
I guess so. I don't know where it came from or how I got it. I know that it didn't start happening until I came to the city.
So you didn't. I had to leave the marsh. I had to leave the marshlands.
Why?
Because they found out what I did.
All right.
And I came here. I found a few others. Some that are awoken, some that were on the cusp of it. And that's how I got stronger.
Yeah.
But I don't think I could take you.
I don't think you could either.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I don't want to fight you. And I don't want you to kill me.
I'm not here to fight.
And you're not here to stop me?
Depends on what you're planning to do.
I don't know. You told me that there's some bad people that I could fuck with. But I still need to get stronger.
Well, I mean, you're welcome to fuck with them, but I'm not interested in being eaten.
Oh, no. I don't think I can eat you. But I just need to know that you're not going to get in my way.
Oh, I mean, it depends on who you decide to eat next, I guess. But I have no immediate plans to, no.
Okay. Okay. Let's
Is this an inner conflict moment?
yeah, I kind of do think so. Let's have you roll. What do you want to roll that with?
God, it's this is either sad or scared here.
If it's sad, it doesn't spike out your fear.
It's true. It's true. But I'm gonna be honest about it. No, I think it is sad. I think it's like, oh, I am in this so far over my head that I don't even like I think it's just starting to sink in. And wait, what was sad? Sad is 2. Okay. 9.
9. So with inner conflict on 7 to 9, you can obviously withdraw from the scene, mark an additional spike in the state rolled, lose one of your form of potential, or overreact to make the situation worse.
See, I think the thing is I'm trying very hard not to overreact,
Okay.
Or react at all. Like I think that's what I'm focused on. So I am, yeah, I'm probably kind of like screwing up in some other way. So I think, no, I mean honestly, I am regretting everything at the moment. So I'm gonna mark an extra spike in sad.
I think there is a moment there where you kind of see with your inner eye, and he said that there aren't others with you, and I think that you can see that there are others with him, tangled in his skein. You can see his homeland is inside himself, and you can see the spirits, the consciousnesses of the people that he's eaten, that he is stuck into his homeland. They're standing behind him like ghosts.
Yeah.
Well, I'll keep my ears open for this Aegis then. Or if you find something out, if there, you want to point me that direction.
Yeah, I will.
Okay. You have my number.
Yep.
And he doesn't turn his back to you. He does back away. And
both like back away separately.
Yes.
The same motion. It's this like mirrored.
I just want to say that Heller's like standing like frozen where he was, and he just kind of like watching him, and then there's a certain point at which some distance, and he looks back at you, and his eyes are like really wide, and yeah, does his hands up, and you can see there's that thing where he has that disruptor in his hand, and he's clearly got that powered up,
Well, still alive.
Let's get out of here, okay?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Whoa, everything just got super creepy, didn't it?
Gabriel and Riddle, you go to, as they say, a secondary location. We can wait till Gabriel comes back here in a second. But Riddle, what are you thinking at this point? Like, I think we should do that scene, that conversation between the two of you.
I'm imagining that I'm flying us out, and the cars picked us up, and I'm probably on the phone as we're heading out, and you could hear me like burning this location. It's being sold, it's being, it's done. And arranging somewhere for us. We're heading somewhere.
I've been working for weeks to get the view just right.
We'll find somewhere better. In fact, the two of us can go and look. Perhaps something you will enjoy, something that appeals to you will pop up.
You're well enough placed that even here at 11:30 at night, when you make the call, there is a real estate person ready to show you a place within 15 minutes. And they're like, Mr. Thrawn, I'd like to show you this apartment. We'll get, you can see the view, got walking you through. We can have this ready for you immediately. Should you need to take possession right away. Obviously, within the contract, we can make some structural changes if you need to have those made.
Wonderful.
I don't know, Gabriel. The network flow through this area is at least 3 microseconds slower than the last apartment.
Seems 3 microseconds.
Certainly, we can make a adjustment on the cost to reflect that deficiency. We can put that to change once we get that flow, get a tech in here and get that up to the standards that you wish.
Riddle, is it? Should we find another place, or should we upgrade this?
I mean, everything's going to be jerky and laggy until we can get it going right. There's going to be artifacts all over the place, but
perhaps you have.
If you can live with that sort of thing,
perhaps you have another location that might appeal more.
Let me look. Hang on.
Certainly. Take your time.
Yes. Get them evicted now. You've got 15 minutes to get them cleared out.
I think
I have a place.
Probably ignoring that.
I have a place that is it's a apartment that has been privately let to incoming architects and people working in tech fields. So it has the latest in connections and hookups and so on. And it just so happens to be empty right now.
Wonderful.
Perhaps we can get you over there to take a look and see if that meets with your. I hadn't realized that a lot of our clients are looking for a wide range of amenities and so on. But if you're really looking to have the high end connections, the widest of Wi-Fi, we will have that ready for you.
Excellent. Thank you so very much.
We consider this Veil XXX is essentially that's the selling point of it for capacity. And they'll take you over this place. And I think there's only the slightest hint that there had been people staying here.
It's even partially furnished. How nice.
Yes.
the oven timer goes off as we come in.
Look, a roast. I love it.
We always like to have things prepared to arrive, show off the place.
But I think you will do marvelously.
Excellent. I just need your thumbprint here. Of course, we've got it set for a week for check-in approval. We'll come back with you, do finishing details if it meets your specifications after a week.
Excellent. Do I need to burn capital for housing, or is this still falling under my luxury?
This is still falling under your luxury. Like you can burn apartments at your leisure. You're a corp.
So this seems lovely, doesn't it, Riddle?
It's a good foundation.
It has a lived-in feel.
Yeah, it'll take me some time to sand the rough edges off, but it's nothing too terrible.
Well, I think our last our last place of meeting shows that you should not invest too heavily in one place.
Spoken like someone who's never had to live where the anti-aliasing subroutines don't work right.
I'm just saying, apparently we are, well, we're in the profession where we might need to suddenly move.
Yeah.
Riddle. Yes.
I was just going to say, I thought we were in the profession of digital touch-ups and celebrity career advice, but apparently guns and death robots and unnecessary amounts of mud are more like it.
It is different than what we have been doing, isn't it?
It gets to be a lot. Tell me about the music thing. How's Heller's niece? Are they any good?
I believe it's Heller's sister.
Oh, sister, sorry.
Temple. Yes. Well, I think so. Yes, she is very good. The question will be, is she revolutionary? Is she new? Is she amazing? I think she could be.
I want to meet her, Riddle. That's what I want. I want to meet her. You should have him call her over now so I can meet her.
And of course, Marley's brother is just dripping with charisma. Will be together. They're going to really take things by storm.
Really, you're continuing with Marley's brother after. Okay, no, yeah, that's fine. Listen, I've been working on a lot of upgrades and changes off of subroutines based off of Heller's work. I know we've been sharing files back and forth.
He mentioned that. He said you had been a tremendous help.
And I'm pretty sure I've gotten it all down, but it would be great if I could, just really put the whole system through its paces, like really experience it, put it to the test, and know that I'm on the right path.
Well, then we absolutely should arrange that. Heller assures me that most of the bugs have been worked out of the apparatus. I'd say, maybe once our two friends return from whatever it is they're doing, perhaps tomorrow we should go to the studio, see if we're ready for some test runs.
Well, I mean, who knows how long they'll be out. It's not too late. I mean, do we have any other performers besides Heller's sister?
Well, at the moment, it's the two of them I've been concentrating on. You're rarely so interested in the talent, Riddle.
It's less about the talent and more about the experience. I'm really just I want to work out all the kinks, and I want to deal with something that doesn't, smell awful, involve a hospital, or bleeding. There's been a lot of bleeding. There's just so much bleeding. Listen, if there's no one other than Heller's sister, I mean, I'd hate to bother her this late at night, but it's not too late. We could maybe set up a little salon performance thing, an inauguration for the new place.
Well, I suppose. Well, I suppose if nothing else, we could go by the studio, see them. Both of them have. I set up an appropriate housing for the two of them and studio space there. We could maybe drop in, but without Heller, we really can't do much until we have the hardware, can we, Riddle?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I've got it all set up.
Well, if you'd like, yes, we can go over to the studio. I am a little hesitant to bring two people in to my brand new clean redoubt, as it were. We really haven't even torn off the... Well, there isn't any covering over these. My goodness, is that a cat? Someone, why is it? They really go a long way in real estate now to make it feel homey, don't they?
No, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm not thinking like someone who's being chased by alien future robots with guns and swords and toilets and stuff. We should go to them.
And apparently spore writers on my wall.
Should we get a litter box?
Oh, look, there's one already here.
It would, of course, be a litter robot.
Right. It's gonna yeet. Come along, and I'll move us off to the car. But as we're going, Riddle, I have to say, we seem to have both fallen in with two crusaders. I'll admit, it's been quite exciting for me. But in the past, you've been most concerned with the financial gain. And I don't mean that as an insult, probably more as a compliment. I know why I'm doing it. Why have you thrown your lot in with this insanity?
Well, I mean, look at where we're going. We're going to meet up with an artist to try out an experimental new art form that goes beyond the previously accepted ranges of human experience, all because Marley was crawling around in some mud and shorted out their ear.
It is remarkable, isn't it?
It's listen, the future corp alien war robot nonsense aside, the whole area of technology could radically change what we think of as the limits of human experience.
You're intrigued.
I'm intrigued. And I am more than smart enough to recognize a pattern, even if I don't understand it.
It is strange. I had worked, of course, with Heller on a few occasions. Marley was newer to those who I had hired in the past. But since Marley has joined my payroll, things have changed. It's remarkable what has occurred. And I agree with you. Coincidences, well, they are rare and rarely stack.
Besides, Marley's going through some weird shit in their life. We're a good influence.
Well, certainly comparative to what has been in the past, I would say. So you like them?
I mean, I guess. Shut up, don't tell anyone.
I shan't. Don't worry, everyone will believe you're irascible and unlikable. But I think I like them as well. If you feel a need to cash out, though, we have a lot of things that we can do. I don't want you to feel obligated, because I'm not paying you for this.
Wait, you're what?
Enjoy the triple X Wi-Fi. Oh, look, I think we're here.
And I think like to as that scene is we're pulling up there, we see in like Riddle's heads up view that he's like just worked on and sending out a message. It's got like a ping location to where we are right now, saying come meet us here, and then it's got a PS. Also, we need to talk about security upgrades later. Apparently, some sort of ghost personalities floating around the Veil, infecting cyber brains. We need to get ahead of that to make sure nothing happens.
I'm on it.
Cool. Cool. See you in a few.
And I think that's where we're going to stop for tonight. Is all right there. We'll bring the gang together and bring Riddle's friend on stage next time.
Can I ask, did
Yeah.
Patrick's special go off?
Oh, that's a good question. So you would gain one imagination and roll without adding a state, my architect friend?
Sure. Just seems like it's a 9.
So you're fine. Gabriel doesn't enter in as an aspect of your subconscious. And do you also wish to roll your executive special here?
Do we think it hit again?
That's entirely up to you.
I mean, mine's horrible, and I
Then
already
it's fair for you to say, I think that didn't rise to that level. I think that's fair.
Okay.
Let's check end of session. I definitely think that we hit your question, Tyler. I'm not sure
Yeah.
we hit either of the other two things, but we definitely hit your question.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we probably hit your entanglement there, Riddle.
Yeah.
Does that feel right?
Yeah. I don't think we hit drive, but I do think we hit question as
okay.
well.
That seems fair.
Especially with that idea possibility of something from the outside literally infecting me.
Absolutely. Marley, I think we hit all three.
Yep.
That's a hat trick of those things today. Heller? What do you think? 2, 3 of those?
At least 2 with a brush on the drive. Essentially, I mean, I talk about that's my thing, is replacing the
yeah, no, I
disease
think we hit all 3.
Okay, that sounds cool.
I would like to do a quick stars and wishes if that is cool with people.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler.
Oh, I get to start. All righty. Stars. I really like the interpersonal stuff. This was nice we had some like group, we had some pairs off. I liked Marley and Riddle together and having some moment. I liked having my moment with Heller and with Riddle, Marley and Heller together. I mean, it was really nice character development, it felt like, and certainly group development in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was really cool. I'm gonna star, Lowell, that you brought us, you did a breakdown of kind of what we have on the table, which I think we needed, because we have a lot on the table. And I liked that you kind of you laid a bunch of stuff out when we brought that body to that woman. You really did throw a ton of stuff out there, opened up the box and let us see. And then you came back in to say, okay, this is what this means. This is what this means. I think we needed that. So I applaud you for kind of going in both the role play and then in a kind of meta way, giving us a lot of clarity. I also continue to think that there is just a great sci-fi feel to this world. All of us bring it in weird and different ways. But it is cool, this world we've done.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fun. Wishes. I want to, considering our time, I want to see some threads start getting tied up.
Okay.
Or deciding where threads that we have time left to really push.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I lean heavier into the things that develop our characters more. That mad scientist out there is fascinating and massive, but I really want Marley's people to be safe.
Mm-hmm.
It is fascinating what these body, the body sleeves are, but I want Heller to live. So I mean, I want to see the music. I want Riddle to get his immersion. I'm looking at our little stories, honestly, more than I'm looking at at our big.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of my wishes is getting these personal, sweet, wonderful things that make us unique, giving them some weight, giving them solid weight. And I will say, I guess this is a star, I didn't imagine my executive would be one of the nicest people, while our Homelander was saying, okay, serial killer, I won't bug you. Bye.
That was an interesting set of contrasts. Patrick?
Yeah, this was I liked digging into some of the weird personal edges of things. I liked the scene with Marley and sort of connecting with them. I like the relationship that's grown up between our characters. But then I really loved seeing that continue in Heller and Marley with Demise. That was a really interesting scene to watch. And Sherry, I can't say I love, but is great drama. The whole like late season reveal of like, oh no, guys, I'm not like playing around with cybernetic toys because it's fun. Like my body's disintegrating. Did I not make that clear? I'm gonna die like next week. And the like matter of fact nature of that horror and sort of trauma was really interesting. And then again, I liked getting to hang out with Gabriel. I am also enjoying pushing on the like music and musicians and strange audio thread. I like the almost sort of like hints and beginning pushes of like, in the future, might Gabriel be running his own corp or guild, or is this the beginning of something that would grow much bigger later on? And also just the utter willingness to be like, oh god, someone touched it. Leave, never come back. Don't look at that place. It can see you. It can see you looking at it. Run away. Wishes. I don't know. I'm looking forward to getting a little more personally into the like weird music storyline, and I want to see Roxo cause some unexpected chaos, havoc, strange impulses, sort of thing.
Okay. I think that's fair. Marley.
Yeah, I mean, stars for everything that everyone has already said. Like, I really like those interpersonal scenes. I really like the, yeah, getting to gross Riddle out again. um, and the reveal of Heller's like, oh yeah, I'm disintegrating, which, you know, I think we had established that like Marley knew this, but wasn't gonna tell anybody because like that was up to Heller, you know, and has therefore been obsessed with the whole Dollbots thing and hasn't told anybody why they're obsessed with the Dollbots thing. So like I like that reveal, as it was kind of understated given the whole like the weight of it. In fact, I think that and the demise thing, which by the way stars for being super creepy. um, and that decision of like, well, if you want to stop this, you might have to work with this incredibly creepy person who's probably going to kill more people. I liked that well, yeah, that inner conflict, you know, decision there that
Mm-hmm.
because I had sort of wondered, like, okay, what is the point at which destruction, like, yeah, you have this gift of destroying things. At what point is it okay that if people are also destroyed along with it? I think we found the point.
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah, so I guess, um, I guess witches are kind of more of the same, like I guess. Sort of, yeah, going into the implications of all these threads that we have, like,
Okay.
I kind of want to see the, I guess, the darker sides of all of them.
Uh-huh. I think that's perfectly fair. Yeah. And Heller.
So I have always loved the Veil because the Veil means that you're going to get a story that is only the story that these characters can tell, because everything about their playbooks is on a theme, because all of the options that kind of, you know, are presented in your currencies and stuff are part of that. And I am just kind of struck that you've managed to carry that over with iterations to the extent that you have, because this game feels very much like a Hallmark Veil game where we are being, you know, like just so far down the lines. That weird take that each of us has chosen on our playbook and those themes that go with it, and having to face them, and bringing the other hapless characters into contact with those things, and them having to react to them. And I mean, I think that in some ways that's what the real good stuff is these other playbooks reacting to you, you know, is what's awesome. And I think it's doing it. And wow, it was a fun game. It was a fun game full of juicy personal moments and things happening in in relationships that was really lovely to see. And I do think that crazy complicated of all these things that are sitting out there is necessary. There's that sort of weight of things that are out there waiting that just kind of compress us until the essence of what our characters are is kind of revealed with the, oh, we can get all of this done. What's important to us? What things are we clinging to when we get those moments away from these things? And I think I really love that. Wishes, I might go along with Marley and say more of the same. Everyone has said more of the same. Yeah, definitely. I am really enjoying what is being distilled in this game.
That's a really interesting model and way to put it, but it is an interesting model for this. I think that's really, really sharp. Thank you all so much. I am going to stop the recording.